So tell me about your audition process for Liv and Maddie.
Well, for Liv and Maddie, I shot, at the time of Liv and Maddie, I shot a Disney XD pilot called Gulliver Quinn. And a pilot is like you shoot the first episode, and then they realize if it's good enough that they'll bring it to series. And I shot a pilot called Gulliver Quinn.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 15, probably. I was about 15, 14. And I shot this pilot, and they put it on. They put it on like a 6th month. We're gonna decide if it's gonna get to series. That 6 months, they were like, literally the last day before the contract was up, they were like, nope. But I got to know everyone at Disney Channel, and I knew all the casting directors, and they knew who I was. And so I auditioned for a lot of stuff. I came really close to getting the lead in Dog with a Blog. I came really close to a lot of parts, because I was in the building. I was in the Disney Channel building a lot. And then this pilot came up called Bits and Pieces. And Bits and Pieces was a show about a family, and it was like a sketch show kinda, but about a family. So it was like each little thing the family did was just, it had no storyline. It was just a bunch of little funny things this family did.
Like skits?
Like sketches. Yeah. But
okay.
it's not like we're playing the same characters in every sketch. And I go in to read for it, and it's my first audition. It's on Hollywood Center Studios. And I go in, and the producer is kind of this bigger guy with my exact same glasses and dark hair. And the first thing I ever said to this man, his name is Ron, first thing I ever said to him was, wow, you look like me in the future if I make a lot of bad decisions. And so here's my first tip,
And he was compelled
guys.
to hire you?
Yeah, right? My first tip, guys, that worked, but it shouldn't have. So don't do that. But I went in, I read for it, I was like, I loved the character, I was kind of really good for it, and then there was a bunch of things they had me keep coming back, and then I lived in the Bay Area at the time. I'm from Oakland, California. And so I was driving down, and then I came by for this chemistry read, which is you read with all the people that have gotten the parts, and they want to see how good your chemistry with everyone is. And so I go back, and I'm reading with Dove, who plays Liv and Maddie in the show, and Tenzing and Ben and Kali, who are all the parents of my brother in Liv and Maddie. But at the time, it was called Bits and Pieces. And I read with them, and I thought I did really well, because I always think I do really well. And I read it, and the head of Disney Channel, Gary Marsh, who was in the room, goes, I want you to do an improv scene for me, because like improv was my background. And he goes, I want you to do an improv scene. Call your best friend and tell him that you got the job. And in Gary Marsh's head, that was his way of going, you got the job. But in my head, when I'm auditioning, I was like, oh, he wants me to do an improv scene. And so I did like a 5-minute improv scene. And he was like, no, kid, that was you getting the job. That's also a very good Gary Marsh impression. And so I did that.
So you can do more than one impression.
Yeah. I didn't know until just now. But we
Do you see what Premiere teaches you? Okay.
Yeah, right? We shot the Bits and Pieces pilot, and it was I loved it. I loved it so much. And
what was the premise of the pilot?
The premise, there was really no premise. It was just like, there was a scene where like it was family movie night, and it was all of us trying to do family movie night. But it was also like the first day of school, and so like it was like me trying to fit in.
Do you think that was Disney Channel's way of trying to create a new show?
Yeah, I think it was Disney Channel's way of trying to...
like in an SNL kind of way?
In an SNL, they had SNL with a show called So Random, which some of you guys might know. It was like a sketch show that was like a real deal sketch show. And I think it was their way of trying to break the format of a regular Disney Channel sitcom that they had done over and over again. Mm-hmm. And then they realized, after the 6 months of them deciding they're going to pick it up, we just want to make it a regular sitcom again. And so...
Go with what works.
Yeah, they changed the premise to Liv and Maddie. They changed the character's name from Sticky to Joey, which is my real name.
Sticky?
Yeah, the character's original name was Sticky.
Okay.
And they picked up right...
That can go a lot of ways.
I know, right? Again, after the 6 months, because they have a 6-month period in the contract whether they can decide to pick it up or not. At the end, last day of the contract for 6 months, they decided. They called me and they said, "Yep, we're picking it up, and we're going to series, and it's called Liv and Maddie now, and you play Joey, and we have like."
So they
2
made
months.
you wait again.
Yeah.
To the very last second to find
every
out.
time, every show except for Jesse. they've done that with.
Okay, now when you have a show like Liv and Maddie and you get picked up for how many episodes?
We got picked up for, most shows get picked up for a set 13. We were picked up for 6. So most shows
That's
get
a real short pickup.
real short pickup. But right as we were shooting episode 2 or 3, they were like, you were picked up for 13. And then as we were filming episode, I'd say about 9 or 10, they were like, you're picked up for 21. And then we did up 21.
Where are you shooting this?
We're shooting on Hollywood Center Studios in Hollywood.